To demonstrate here how to replace this whole entire screen, first you lean your laptop all the way back and you take a razor or something and you pry right underneath here, and you got to be careful, you'll break this, you got to wiggle it until it comes all the way up. Set that aside, and then you take your screwdriver and you take out the keyboard first. It's real easy. These two screws have to come out, so I'm going to take them out real quick. Make sure they don't drop inside your laptop. Alright, then you lift your keyboard like thus, right from the center, and then there's a little tab here. You gotta lift up this and then you move it out of the way. Then you take these screws, well, first you take this one out. This is going to come up, but before you do, you gotta take this little screw out here. It just lifts up and you unplug it. And then you take these three screws out. There's three. 1, 2, and when I'm done doing this, I'll show you how to put it back. I mean, it's just a reverse application, but I want you to see how it's done. Okay, the screen is now lifted. It's all out. Now you want to bend these little tabs straight when you're about to put it back in. Make sure they're nice and straight, and then you lay them back in the little cradle, and then you bend your thing back just a little bit, and then you take your connector and then you align it carefully, and then you push it back in, and then you take your little screw and you screw that down until it's snug. And then there's a little bar here. You got to make sure it's in the clips. This little cable has to get pushed down into these little three clips here, and then you got to make sure that it's pushed back out of the way. When that's done, you got to put your keyboard back in. It's easy enough to do. You put the tab back in there, you align it and push it down, push the white puller forward so that it's not in the way, like right there, and then you take your keyboard and you slide it back into position. Make sure that the tabs are properly underneath, because they'll sometimes get caught on the top. Then you push it back down. Then you take your screws, then you screw them back into the keyboard. There's one here, and one here. And then you got to put your screws back into your screen. There's three of them. One there. Make sure they're nice and snug. Make sure that it's all the way down. Come on, get in there. There we go. It's in there. And then number 3. There's 2 on one side, 1 on the other. There it is. Last but not least, you put this little thing back in. You make sure it's underneath, on this side and underneath, and then you go from left to right. You fit it down in the groove, all the way down, and then you make sure it's snapped in all the way, and then voila, you're done. And that's the end.